Just stopping for a second just because it's... Just going to stop the engine and restart it. It's sitting where I want it to, but it's just dancing by 10 RPM here and there. I don't think that's an issue, but... Hello everyone. It's been a long time since I've released a video, and that's been because of the weather and also a few dramatic issues that have unfolded not only in life but also with the aircraft. Most notably, recently I had a service and we noticed in the oil that there was a large piece of metal which was fortunately attached to the magnetic plug. This sparked an investigation because we needed to work out exactly where the piece of metal came from. I had an excellent engineer who was fantastic and was able to diagnose the problem very quickly and isolated it to the gearbox. The gearbox was taken to Rotax and they rebuilt the gearbox. And it's been on the aircraft now for a little while. I've done one flight with it, which I did yesterday. That was my first flight, and everything seemed to be in good condition. So today I'm going to do some more leisurely flying. I'm going to visit some of my favorite haunts just because I know exactly what's going on. But nice, safe places to visit so that I don't have to think too much. I can focus on just making sure that the aircraft is running smoothly. Finally, the weather is broken. It's a beautiful day. The skies are clear, wispy clouds, if anything. So I'm going to go to Chichester Goodwood first, and then perhaps see if Luke Williams from Eurofox in Kent is available, and then I might try and meet up with him in Deanland, and then I'll fly home. So we're just up to temperature now. So I'll just finish my checklist there. Oil temperature is up, oil pressure, that is looking good, and we're up to 2,500 just to run the generators. That's good, and we'll check the key is ACC, so we're all good to go. Spyview, Golf, Delta, Kilo Lima Delta, taxiing to the hold of runway 04, Spyview. Right, so here we go. It's a strange thing that although I know that the aircraft has been put together beautifully, and although Rotax engines tend to be incredibly reliable, there's just that little bit of doubt now in my back of my mind. In my Eurofox, I never had a single issue with the engine the whole time I owned the aircraft, which is why I've always been confident with the engines. But it's just shaken my confidence a little bit, and I'm sure after some time I'll relax into it. And I'm glad it happened now right at the beginning of the season when I could get things sorted out and the aircraft wasn't downed during a time when we could be flying. So in a way, if it was going to happen at any time, during the bad weather is when you'd want it to happen. So I'm just going to turn into wind there. I've checked the controls as I've been doing that just to make sure everything is going nicely. So put brakes on and we'll do our pre-flight check or pre-takeoff checks. So we are parked into wind and the area around is clear. The brakes are set to maximum. The canopy is locked with the red rig obscured. Harnesses are fastened, and I fastened the passenger one as well just so it's not flapping around. Loose items are stowed. I'll just put that under here. Controls are full and free. Good, that's nice. Avionics are all switched on. Everything is beautiful. Barometric pressure, let's set that. I had that as 1020, and this is telling me it's 1018, so I'll check that. It's good. Transponder set to 7000 alt. Throttle 2500 again. Good, the generators are working nicely. Battery's charging beautiful, both lanes fully charged or fully generating. Fuel contents, I've got 40 litres left, 35 right. Fuel tap, let's set that to the most full tank, but that will also allow me to cycle those taps. Let's cycle the pumps. Both mains and auxiliary pumps are on. Throttle, short max. Beautiful, nice and smooth, no drama. Just stopping for a second just because it's Just going to stop the engine and restart it. It's sitting where I want it to, but it's just dancing by 10 RPM here and there. I don't think that's an issue, but
fuel pressure.
Clear prop.
Message.
that seems better. Cycle mains.
Golf Delta Oscar downwind. Fuel frequency, Jeffrey.
I am indeed, sir. I'm reading you 5, how me?
5's also.
Trim set for takeoff. Flaps first stage. Hydraulic pump set to on. Fuel contents are sufficient. Fuel tap. Fuel pump main and aux. Ignition ACC.
Spyview, Golf Delta Oscar, joining for 04, Spyview.
Are you chaps touch and go?
View.
Right, I think probably that slight hunting is just...
If I were you, Jeffrey, I'd take 01.
Okay, are you going to stop or are you going to go around?
That's a very good question. We don't know until we get there.
Okay, I'll hold off.
Going around.
Spyview Golf Delta, Kilo Lima Delta, lining up runway 01, Spyview. Right, so the trim is set, flaps are set, fuel contents are more than sufficient, both fuel pumps are on. Hydraulic pump is on.
And Golf Delta Oscar to the Dark Lord. Just beware, there is a big group of birds thermaling about our position now on the end of the crosswind.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'll keep an eye. Appreciate that. Golf Delta Kilo Lima Delta, taking off runway 01. Better.
As I was attempting to explain prior to takeoff, the perceived issue I was experiencing with the engine was entirely attributable to my poor judgment. The WT9's got a very large turning circle, which makes manoeuvring at our small airfield a real challenge, especially on our narrow taxiway. Because of this, when I parked into wind, I did so at a quartering angle. This left me with a slight crosswind component to my propeller. As some of you may have already deduced, at low engine speeds, this crosswind was enough to slightly influence the RPM. In my paranoid state of hypervigilance, I was concerned that my gearbox was warning me of an imminent implosion. As soon as I turned off the engine, I became aware of the wind buffeting the aircraft, and the realization hit me. This was confirmed when I sat lined up for takeoff and the RPM settled perfectly in the head-on airflow.
Lima Delta, how are you getting on? Where are you now?
I am now 3 mile long final, runway 06 left hand.
Lima Delta, thanks very much for your help and report 2 miles.
It's a pleasure reporting 2 miles, Golf Lima Delta. Golf Lima Delta, 2 miles, long final, runway 06 left hand.
Golf Lima Delta, runway 06, land at your discretion. The wind 060 degrees, 10 knots.
Thank you, Lima Delta.
It was a beautiful day and the circuit at Goodwood was busy. Integrating with the other traffic provided me with a welcome distraction from my lingering residual doubts.
Golf Lima Delta now on final runway 06 left hand.
Lima Delta, runway 06, land your discretion. 060 degrees, 11 knots, 11 knots.
The combination of the gearbox issue and a winter away from flying had left me a little bit underconfident at the start of the flight, but I was delighted with the approach and equally pleased with the landing, even if it wasn't quite textbook.
Good information, Golf Lima. Can we draw on crosswind, please?
Golf Lima, nothing known to affect, report crosswind.
Golf Lima.
This was an important lesson for me as it helped me to realise that no matter what's going on, I must continue to fly the aircraft. With that, I felt my confidence begin to return in both the aircraft and in myself. After parking outside Goodwood's cafe, I paid the landing fee, took a short comfort break and prepared myself for the next leg to Deanland.
Deanland traffic, Golf Delta, Kilo Lima Delta, currently north of beam and will shortly be positioning to join on the downwind leg for runway 06, Deanland traffic.
The conditions were near perfect as I tracked along the south coast. With each passing mile, my earlier concerns felt a little bit more distant.
Approaching waypoint. Approaching waypoint.
Deanland traffic, Golf Delta, Kilo Lima Delta, now on the downwind leg on runway 06, Deanland traffic. Deanland traffic, Golf Delta, Kilo Lima Delta, now on final runway 06, Deanland traffic.
By remaining focused, I was once again rewarded with a not unreasonable approach and landing. I think I'm getting the hang of this flying malarkey.
Deanland traffic, Golf Delta, Kilo Lima Delta, backtracking, runway 06.
Deanland always felt like a second home to me, familiar voices on the radio and a warm welcome from David Brooke and the rest of the club members.
Deanland traffic, Golf Charlie Kilo, Uniform Romeo, inbound, join this downwind for runway 06.
Luke Williams arrived shortly after in his self-built and beautifully finished metallic emerald Eurofox. We had a cup of tea, a chat and the usual admiring nosy around each other's aircraft before it was time to head off again. Luke kindly offered to accompany me along the coast for part of the return leg. Unfortunately, the audio from that section was corrupted, although in fairness we were so captivated by the mystical experience of the flight over the sea as the sun sank towards the horizon that we hardly spoke. With the aircraft settled on autopilot, I was able to capture a few shots of Luke before he peeled away towards Luke's field. With my home airfield of Spire View now in sight, I took a moment to reflect on my day. I'd set off this morning with a heavy heart filled with uncertainty, but returned with my confidence restored and my perspective reset. And to top it all off, my approach and landing was, as my instructor Mark McLennan would say, not embarrassing. I'm hoping that this positive start to the season sets the tone for the rest of the year. Why don't you subscribe and tune in to join me on my next adventure to find out. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.